Hello everybody. So GRIMDARK Future 3.0 just came out, and I wanted to do a quick video just going over the changes that have been made to the OnePageRules game system. This is mainly focused on GRIMDARK Future and Age of Fantasy. I'm testing out a podcast format with this video, so Brooks will be joining me, and I'm going to be running the changes by him one by one to get his initial reaction to them. I split the changes up into 3 sections: meh changes, okay changes, and huge changes.
All right.
So I'll start with the meh, the relentless rule. Remember that?
Remind me, do you have what it does in front of you?
Relentless used to give an extra attack on a 6 when shooting, and now whenever a model with this rule uses the hold action, for each unmodified roll of 6, it deals 1 extra hit. So it has to stay still, but it doesn't have to re-roll for the extra hit.
I think instead of a 6, maybe it should be like a 5 and 6, because you're sacrificing your movement. I just am not a fan of not being able to move to get extra hits on just 6s.
I mean, it makes sense for certain units, but
yeah.
When I think of relentless, I think of someone charging into battle, you know what I mean? Like relentlessly, a relentless onslaught. I mean, I get what they're going for, it's a relentless barrage, but...
Yeah, like a minigun just keeps shooting and shooting.
Yeah, maybe cover fire or something like that, or suppressive, I think would be a good name for that. Suppressive fire.
Yeah, suppressing fire would be good.
And then I just threw this list together, so there might be some in the okay that could be meh. But the next one is stealth. It used to be enemies get -1 to hit when shooting at units with stealth, and now they added a 12-inch rule. So the enemies would have to be more than 12 inches away for that to kick in.
I mean, I think the 12-inch is definitely a good change there.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, the change demons in particular were pretty weak, so it didn't really do much for them, and now it's even less that they have, so hopefully they rework things.
Yeah, but I could see it on a sniper sitting in the back, and you never get within 12 with it.
Yeah, it's a nice rule. I like it.
I think maybe change just needs something different besides stealth.
The next one is rending. Now it always gives a -1 to regen rolls.
Okay. Does it still do the AP4 on 6s?
So it used to be whenever you roll an unmodified hit result of 6, that counts as having AP4, and it ignores the regen roll. It doesn't straight up ignore the regen roll anymore.
Oh, it just gives it a -1. Okay. I think that makes regen stronger.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a rule that we kind of forgot to use when we were rending. So I think we missed that a lot. It's probably...
How much of our stuff had regeneration, though?
The alien hives have a decent amount of things that you can add it to, but it doesn't come base.
Okay.
But yeah, it's usually something on the larger units or something you have to add to them. Some armies like Robot Legions, I think pretty much all the units have regeneration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then regeneration is on a 5-up still?
Yeah.
Okay, so then it would go to a 6-up. You're still getting a chance to regenerate, though.
Yeah, regeneration has not changed.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's a improvement for regeneration, I guess.
The next one is poison. That one used to multiply the shots by 3 on 6s.
Yeah, that was always a weird one to me.
Yeah, I agree. It makes a little bit more sense now, thematically. Now the target must reroll unmodified defense rolls of 6 when blocking hits. I think it makes more sense. Yeah. I get what they're going for. It was too similar to Blast.
That's true. Yeah. It's a completely different ability now.
It could probably go in the meh pile.
I think if it wasn't on 6s.
Yeah.
Maybe if it auto wounded or something, but then that would get really strong too. Yeah. Rerolling successful saves. Always a good thing.
I guess it's an improvement, but it's not something that really changes the game that much.
Yeah. Like you said, it fits a lot more thematically now than just multiplying by 3. So yeah. I think it's good. Mm-hmm. I've been pretty negative so far, but I think that one's good.
Next, we have the Lance rule that gets up AP +2 when charging. So they're trying to rework the impact phalanx situation.
That's still in fantasy or in
Lance?
Yes. Or is that in?
They have Lance on both of the rules, so I think it is in both games, and it does the same thing.
Oh, okay, because I have the special rules for Future up, and I don't see Lance on there.
Yeah, no, it wasn't in the old rules, but...
Oh, so this is completely new. I'm sorry, can you read it to me again?
Well, I think what it was I think it was a special rule for certain units, but it wasn't in the core special rule list.
Okay.
And now it is. It just gives you a AP +2 when charging.
Okay. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's like, again, it's like their way of kind of getting around phalanx. Like that's going to be part of the new phalanx system, I guess.
Yeah, that'll be really good.
Yeah.
I imagine it's on like bikes and stuff. Anything fast.
I would assume, yeah. I haven't seen it on anything yet.
This might be jumping ahead, but you said they were trying to change impact.
Yeah, that's actually the next thing on my list. Impact now gives attacks that hit on 2+. So instead of like automatically getting attacks, like it's considered an attack now.
Okay.
You know how we kind of had an issue with that, like turn order.
It would just auto hit.
Yeah.
We decided it would auto hit at the beginning of combat, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, now it officially does. It's an impact X, and you get X attacks that hit on 2+ when charging. So.
Okay, and you still have to roll for them, so you're not.
Yeah.
I think that's a good change. Impact felt way too strong, I think, in most cases.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you'll get most of them, but it won't cause those issues of confusion as to like how things go with the turn order.
Yeah. Like, do you resolve this entire thing first and then move on to the next one or whatever?
Yeah. Yeah, that one game we played, that really got screwed up.
Yeah.
With the impact
There was a couple
phalanx
times.
in the skirmish version, since the rules are slightly different.
Yeah. When I chart, it was the Demons of War into your skeleton boys.
Yeah.
That was a rough game. I had to step back for a second. I was getting so mad.
I felt bad. Yeah.
You can't do anything.
Yeah, I definitely. I was just thinking about like thematically how it looked like me kind of getting charged by all angles, but
it looked really cool.
Yeah,
the video came out really nice. But
maybe we'll have to try and redo something similar to that with the new rules someday.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
The next thing is fear now has an X value. So it used to be like a D3.
Yep, so it always counts as having dealt plus D3 wounds when checking who
that's what it was.
Melee. Yeah.
So now it's like you're adding X wounds onto your. There's no like rolling or anything for it.
So it's just a set amount. This unit causes fear 2, so you add 2 to see who won. I like that.
Yeah, because fearless used to be like a set amount, and I guess they're just kind of combining those two now, which is nice. And then fearless does something else, which I'll get into later. I think they reworked entrenched. Because I think it used to be in the game before, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
It may have been a specific rule for certain armies or something like that.
Okay.
But that gives -2 to hit when you're not moving.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, so it's kind of similar to the other one. Relentless, I guess, it kind of goes along with that.
Yeah, so if you had Relentless and Entrenched, just sit there and just blast away.
They would go well together, yeah. Then aircraft, now you have to deploy them first, and they always move 30 to 36 inches.
And they still not turn?
Yeah, they can't turn. They have to fly in a straight line. Yeah, it used to be 18 to 36 inches. Now it's 30. Yeah, so they have to fly a lot further now.
That's a tight...
It is. I'm
margin of error there.
I was never a fan of aircraft in this game. It just kind of felt cheesy. Have
you played with them?
I haven't played them, but I've played against them.
Okay.
Yeah. Models that are shooting at them get -12 to their range and -1 to hit rolls, which is kind of ridiculous. Like, to me, I hate that rule. I hate it.
So they still get that, though, right?
They still get it. I was really hoping they would take that out or like take it down to like 6 inches, but they didn't.
Now that you're stuck at 30, the max you're going to be on the table is 2 turns.
Yeah, but then you come back. You come back on.
Well, yeah, but I think it's a good thing because you're basically forcing, like, the plane is going to miss 2 turns of the game, and then the 2 turns you're on the table, you're very limited on where you can go.
It is a bit of a nerf, but yeah, I still really don't like that -12 range roll.
Well, I think they need the nerf with how good the range and -1 to hit is.
Yeah, they definitely do. But like, if you have like a pistol, you can't even shoot the thing, you know?
Yeah, you're at range 0. Yep.
Yeah.
Which I think thematically makes sense, but yeah, definitely makes them very tanky without intending to.
I would rather it be like -2 to hit rolls.
Yeah, or always hit on 6s or something.
Yeah, I guess the fact that they're limited to movement, then that kind of helps. But A lot of them do have like pretty good range on the weapons, so it doesn't really matter.
I have yet to play with one or against one, so
Yeah. I don't really have any plans in printing one out. I've played against people, like I said, who have played them. I didn't really enjoy it. So
yeah, that's rough.
next one is unit coherency. We pretty much ignored that a lot of the time because it was like our models within a unit have to be within 1 inch of another model, and they have to be within 9 inches of like the furthest model away.
Yeah, so the max you can stretch out was 9 inches.
Well, it used to be 6 inches, so they bumped that up to 9. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't know if
9 inches is a little better.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember. I think it was the first game we played of this.
When I used my orcs, but
Yeah.
the Marauders. Yeah. I tried running blocks of 30, and I was like, I literally can't deploy these because I can't put them in a 6-inch block. I was like stacking them on top of each other.
Yep, I think they were blocks of 20, but yeah,
I think it was only 20.
You could like just barely fit them in a ball.
Yep, it was a fist-sized ball, so 9 inches is a lot better.
Yeah,
I still think having a max distance that they can be apart is a little weird, but I'll take it.
Well, 9 inches is a pretty good amount of space to work with, so I'm pretty happy with that.
And it does prevent you from doing the old conga line move, trying to like get buffs off of things. So.
Yeah, exactly. And like even if you want to kind of conga line, like 9 inches is a decent amount of space for you to cover.
Yeah. Did they change the amount that they need to be next to each other? You said it's 1 inch still?
Yeah, that's the same. It is 6 inches for skirmish, but I don't think you can have more than like 3 models in a unit in skirmish. So
okay.
I don't even think it would be possible unless they change the rules or there's a unit that I'm not aware of. Then the next thing they changed is cover. That gives +1 to defense rolls now instead of -1 to hit.
That's better.
Yeah.
That's just a straight improvement.
And then going kind of hand in hand with that, lock on has been modified to ignore cover.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think that's a nerf to lock on. Because currently it ignores all negative modifiers to hit rolls and range. So like you could lock onto an aircraft and ignore that. But
I never thought about that.
Yeah. Does it just add it to lock on, or it just changes it to that?
It just says ignores cover and all negative modifiers to hit rolls and range.
Oh, okay. So they just added the cover thing to okay, never mind. So ignore what I just said. I was wrong. It's just a buff to lock on, and I think a better way to do cover.
Yeah, I played 2 games so far, and I was pretty happy with the way they did that. It makes more sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's easier to hit, but then it's easier to defend.
There's not too many things with lock on either, I don't think.
Yeah, it gets around like heavy AP weapons a little bit.
Yeah, because you can survive like AP 4 hits on 6s then.
Yeah.
On most units.
Hopefully.
Well, I guess it depends on what your save is, but you know.
Yeah. All right. Next, I have my what I consider huge changes.
Yeah.
They added the new rule, reliable. It gives a weapon +2 to hit.
Okay. That's just good.
So it's kind of like sniper, but you can't target a unit or a model within a unit.
Yeah. No, I think it's just good. Like you put it on your leader or something, they just hit better.
Yeah, my flamer beast had it. I think you're going to see that on a lot of flamer weapons.
Okay.
Stuff like that. So it's kind of like almost auto hit, which I think is nice because there are certain weapons where it just feels like it should hit
all the time. Yeah.
Or at least most of the time.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. That's a good one.
Then I don't know if I told you about spell casting, how they changed that.
No, you did not.
Okay, so like now instead of the psychic and in the fantasy version the wizard, yeah, they're both called caster now.
Okay.
And then basically your caster units get X spell tokens at the beginning of each round, but can't hold more than 6 tokens at once. At any point before attacking, spend as many tokens as the spell's value to try and cast 1 or more spells. Only 1 try per spell. I think they changed that a little bit because it used to be a little unclear if you could like recast the spell.
Yeah.
You can only attempt to cast each spell once per turn. You roll a die, and then on a 4-up, you resolve the effect on a target within a line of sight. And then this model and other casters within 18 inches in line of sight may spend a number of tokens at the same time before rolling to give the caster +1 -1 to roll per token.
Okay.
And they told me that the way that was going to work was like a blind bidding process.
So you don't know. So you're like, I'm going to cast this spell, and then you pick up however many tokens, and your opponent picks up however many?
Yeah, if you both have casters with tokens within 18 inches,
Yeah.
then that's how you would resolve that blind bidding.
Okay.
Yeah, which
I mean, if it wasn't blind, it would get ridiculous to be like, I'm going to add +1. And you're like, well, I'm going to add -1. And then you just keep going back and forth. So I could see why they would do it.
I don't know. I kind of feel like maybe the caster should maybe add any modifiers if they want when they're casting it, and then the opposing player should be able to like add some if they want to add some modifiers to it, and then that should be it. That's kind of how I think it should go. But
Yeah, but if you do it that way, then you run into like you just counter out all the spells, which that's only if you have a wizard within 18.
yeah,
And only if they're getting the same amount of tokens.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would work fine that way too.
I mean, I've only played 2 games so far, and I don't think like if it was set up that way, I don't think it would be unfair.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd be willing to try it, but I mean, if they're gonna do blind bidding, then
Yeah,
I guess
I mean,
that's.
picking them at the same time is fine.
It doesn't like say to do blind bidding in the rules anywhere, so I don't know if they're gonna change that or not, or clarify.
That definitely need to be clarified, because otherwise you're just gonna. I mean, I would assume what you said based on how you read it to me, that
Yeah,
whoever's casting would pick, and then your opponent would pick after they know.
yeah. I kind of wish that they would like give the option to do like either or,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe they will eventually. But yeah, I'm kind of curious to see like how people react to that and how it changes.
Yeah, so do you need a token to cast a spell, or you can cast it without anything, right?
Like, remember how they used to be like,
Like the spell goes off on a 5-up or whatever.
I think it would be like they had like 2 6-ups, 2 5-ups, and 2 4-ups, I believe.
Yeah.
The 4-ups are now just 1 token. That's what they cost to cast.
Okay.
And the 5-ups are 2, and the 6-ups are 3. And then
But you still need a 6-up to get it.
No. It's a 4-up across the board.
All of it is a 4-up. Okay.
Yeah, across the board, and then with whatever modifiers that you add to it.
So you spend your 3 tokens. Do those 3 count as a modifier or no?
No, those don't count as a modifier. That's just like the base cost.
Have they upped the amount of like tokens you're gonna get? Because I remember before most psychers were like 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah. You have casters 1, 2, and 3, and then they would get, if they were just a 1, they would just get 1 token.
Yeah.
So like the 3s would be like the strongest casters, and they go up to 4 actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're still not going to be casting a whole lot of spells then, at least the strong ones. I guess that's the point.
Yeah, and then you can't cast the same spell twice in one turn. So
Yeah, whoever's casting is always going to be at a disadvantage because it costs them their tokens to even cast it, and then they're going to get that -1 thrown at them.
well, I mean, if you add a modifier, then you can't cast on your turn. So
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing to think about there with Psychic.
yeah,
It's a lot more interactive than it used to be, that's for sure.
yeah, I think it adds a lot of tactical nuance to the game.
Yeah, in a phase that didn't really have that much. And this all is assuming that you can get within 18 inches of the enemy Psyker caster.
I think that's going to be pretty common.
I think it depends on what you're casting, because if
Yeah.
you're just casting buff spells, I would try to keep them outside of that 18-inch bubble to just buff the things right in front of them.
Yeah, it probably depends on what army you're playing too. I'm sure they're all going to be very different because this is one of the main ways that they're trying to like give each army more of a flavor.
Yeah, with their spells.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see how that turns out because like I know they're in the process of redoing all the armies.
Yeah, but it's definitely, I think it's a good addition, and I think you have it in the right spot.
Next thing is counter units now strike first. I don't think that was a keyword before. Counter is now a new keyword.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, this is another thing that kind of replaces phalanx.
Okay.
Yeah, so now
That's what it was. I knew there was a hit back mechanic, but I couldn't remember what it was called.
Yeah, it's their way of fixing that. They're going to give units counter now, which allows units to strike first. If you have that, and then the charging unit has impact, then that only hits on 6s.
Oh, if you get counter. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, that solves the issue that we had.
Yes, it does.
Completely.
Yep.
So I think it's definitely an improvement.
Yeah. Again, with that, I think it just adds a lot more tactical nuance.
Yeah. It's not like Phalanx was an abundant rule to begin with. but I think a lot of things could have Counter-Strike. Just name-wise, it sounds like it should be on more things. And it fits in both worlds. I like it.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about this one. Furious. Do you remember Furious?
Is it
It gave +1.
+1 to the weapon of your yes, okay, all of my
+1
war
attack,
guys
yeah.
got that when they charged.
So now that deals an extra hit on 6s when charging.
You know, I think that probably just evens out to being almost the same thing.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, if you have like multiple weapon profiles, then you get it on everything. So
That's true. With it being on 6s, you have a higher chance of it spiking,
yeah,
which is nice.
yeah, it's kind of hard to say if it's like a buff or a debuff.
Yeah, because it's only on 6s, where +1 attack was just like an all the time. It's just good. I don't know. I think it's still decent. I think if I didn't know what Furious did beforehand, I would like it more.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that they rework armies like your war demons because they relied heavily on that, and I think they need a little more, personally.
Yeah, the 6s, it's just like the way I roll, I'll maybe get 1 or 2 in a game, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm relying on 5s to get me through, not 6s.
I'm kind of hoping that the demons, like, they go more heavy into the casting, like add more caster units to the army. So one more change here. Fearless. That was the one that I think it had a flat +3, right? Was that what it was?
Fearless, you get +1 to morale tests.
Oh, okay. It was just one. And then the fear was D3. Yep.
Yeah.
So this is one of my favorite ones. Fearless now makes you pass a failed morale test on a 4-up. So you get a second chance on morale tests. Yeah, isn't that nice?
Yeah, so you get to attempt to pass it. If you fail, you get to attempt to pass it again. That's awesome. I'm trying to think of who has it.
It's a pretty common rule.
Yeah.
I would say there's a good chunk of units that have it. And anything that's kind of like more larger and menacing, or like leader units usually have it.
Yeah. My Jackals do not have anything with Fearless. None of the war stuff has Fearless either. Man. So I don't know if anybody picked this up from the games that I've played, but I hate the morale phase. So I'm just going to try to build a Fearless army now somehow.
You're talking about in Skirmish particularly?
Both of them. But
okay.
Yeah.
Because it's not really a phase.
Well, just the morale test in general. Just like, oh, you failed. You're all gone.
Well, that's one reason I like that Fearless rule.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of limits that. Because it is kind of BS to lose half a unit.
And then just lose the entire unit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's rough.
So yeah, I'm hoping they give that Fearless to a decent amount of stuff, and yeah, it just makes things a little easier to keep on the board.
Here we go. Custodian Brothers, almost every single one. Actually, every single one of their units has it.
No, I can see that, yeah.
Yep. Whenever they come out with that army, I will. I'll print that and paint that up for you.
All right.
Yeah, I think they're going in a good direction though. For the most part, I think it's good changes. Some of the changes feel like side steps instead of improvements, or instead of buffs or nerfs. But that's fine too.
I think they addressed the largest issues pretty well.
Yeah, I will definitely be trying to do more with psychic stuff just to get that interaction going, see how it actually plays.
Yeah, so far I like it. Definitely makes you want to add some casters to your army. Yeah. Like, it makes it more of like an auto include.
Yeah, if you don't have it, you don't get to participate.
Yeah.
And I feel like affecting the spell with the -1 is better than trying to roll against it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
All right, man. Yep, thanks for giving your input here.
No problem, anytime.
So that's a summary of all the changes to the Grimdark Future Age of Fantasy game systems. I'd like to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the new rules. Also, how do you like this video format? We're considering doing post-battle conversation videos in a podcast format like this. Those would be exclusive for Patreon supporters. Speaking of Patreon, if you want to support the channel, Patreon membership is a great way to do that. There's a link in the description below if you want to check it out. That's all for now. I hope you have a good day, and I will see you later.